I am going to try and interview my sister and her husband. Well, actually, you've got your wedding video is on my channel.
That was actually my YouTube debut.
Yeah, and I have told people that you met your husband on a forum. So how long did you know each other online then before you actually met?
Let's see. 6 years?
6 years online?
Yeah, well the first sort of 3 years we moved in different groups within the forum. We were at a few meets at the same time, but we moved in different groups, usually mainly because a friend of mine had a rather bitter battle going on with one of the members of the group that Will moved in.
That is something I do not miss about forums, is the big fights. I think YouTube is kind of big enough that people can just kind of stay out of each other's way unless they're trying to
I
antagonise.
aggravated this particular person one night by going into the chat room after 9 o'clock, after the watershed. It must have been 11 o'clock at night, and typing fuck muff and beaver in. Somebody else repetitively. I'm rather annoyed on the said person who called me infantile. I don't understand.
Infantile?
Yes.
What's wrong with them?
I don't know what's wrong with beaver and foot muff.
Okay, so if you didn't meet in the normal meet circles and stuff, when did you finally meet?
Well, the original Buffy UK closed down for a while. And for a while Buffy UK became a porn site.
A porn site?
Yes. Well, we desperately tried to get back the domain. And in the time while BuffyUK.org was a porn site,
charitable porn site.
Another website was set up by somebody who was a friend of mine. Will joined that website, and that's when we met again, as it were. But without the block in the way of rival groups, as it were, me and Will started talking as friends. It went from post to post to private email to MSN to MSN, and then we'd then talk on the phone pretty much every day. But it was a friendship, not anything more than a friendship, because at the time I was still with my then partner, who I had been with for 8 years. I woke up and left. Not because of another person, but because I suddenly realised some things after spending some time on my own. I went and had a surgery in London, and just because I've not been able to before, I thought, oh, on my way back from London, I will stop off and see Will, because we've never actually properly met. At the time I was living in Nottingham, so I got a train to Nottingham, and we met. The next day I left Nottingham, and we were a couple.
Was it a surprise meeting? Because you hadn't. Was there anything you didn't expect about the way you looked or was in person that you didn't pick up on from knowing him on the internet?
I've seen about 2 photographs. Will's a bit coy, as you may have guessed.
No, look at him, camera whore. So you'd seen a couple of photographs, but all the same, like I've seen photographs of people, and I've even seen people on video, and when you meet them they seem like taller or shorter, or
definitely taller than I sort of imagined. But I don't think I actually spent that much time imagining what he looked like, because we'd spoken on the phone a lot.
And because it was just a friendship, really, you wouldn't really be thinking about
as a friend, not
that.
Looking in for a potential partner.
Yeah.
Although all our friends on both sides knew before we did.
Right, they could see it coming. Maybe they're talking on the phone every day and all that kind of thing, is a little bit more than what most friends would be doing.
But, you're always the last to know yourself, really, aren't you?
Really?
Well, maybe I am.
You sure about that, Jen?
Shh. You are.
A lot of people say that long distance relationships don't work. Now, you obviously didn't live in the same city.
I suppose it was quite difficult because it involved a lot of travelling from Nottingham to Liverpool to Nottingham, and with Will's sense of direction it can get quite tricky at times.
Well, how many times did you have to do the same trip to actually not get lost?
10. But at the time we worked, I think he worked 4 days on, 3 days off on a rolling week. So we were able to have quite a bit, a decent amount of time when we travelled together in his time off work. But we only did that for, I think, 3 months before Will decided to move to Liverpool, but the plan then was for him to get his own flat. And he came to stay with me because he got a job while he was looking for a flat, and we ended up deciding it really wasn't much point because we'd just be paying rent on a place and no one lived it.
Do you ever worry, because you met on the internet, that Will might meet another woman on the internet?
Worry? No.
Pray for? Just kidding. Has Will got anything to say about this? So, your husband seems to be the strong silent type. How does he communicate with you?
MSN?
MSN.